For as long as war has existed, either sides have utilized the media of their times to influence opinions and cultivate support from all spectators. The use of media has historically shown to have a potentially drastic impact on the outcome of a conflict. From Da Vinci and the Renaissance paintings to the over 400 panoramas depicted of epic battles, different forms of media have been used as a mass monologue, where a sender transforms the mediums to display information to the receivers. All these innovations have impacted on the way in which war has been communicated. However, today's climate reflects a vastly different set of scenarios than ever encountered. Historically, states have been the only holders of media influence. Due to their large financial backing and access to a wealth of resources, states maintained an absolute hegemony over the way in which war was transmitted to the public, and as a result have often controlled the people's perception of the conflict. The often underdeveloped societies that faced these behemoths could not possibly attain the power contained in the media, and as such were unable to convey their own side of the conflict. These non-state actors have been traditionally slow to adapt to new technologies. For example, when radio was being used by the great powers to transmit messages over great distances through radio waves in a matter of moments, non-state actors had only just gained access to the printing press technology, and were attempting to use that to their advantage. However, the media of print did not stand a chance against the efficiency of radio. Pre-2002, large states enjoyed an asymmetrical structural advantage over non-state groups, such that these non-state groups had to improvise alternative methods to mediatize their conflicts. As this technology was not readily available to non-state actors, they resorted to destruction and sabotage of the technologies possessed by wealthy states. For instance, these individuals cutting down telegraph masts in order to disrupt their enemies' communications. Another strategy used by these non-state actors was depicted in Vietnam during the US occupation. The Viet Cong used the American media coverage to broadcast their messages and images that resulted in the disenchantment of the American public and political parties in America.
The outcome of a major conflict was determined not on the battlefield nor in the negotiating chambers, but on the printed page and the television screen.
Many have seen this to be the leading cause in the eventual withdrawal of US troops from Vietnam and the loss of the war. However, despite the lack of resources and financial support, these non-state groups have shown to be extremely skilled at utilizing whatever media technology they can in order to spread their message and reveal their situation to the global eye. The Munich Olympics 1972. This was one of the first television events that streamed live in full-color TV to over 1 billion people worldwide. This event is famous for the attack on several Israeli athletes by a Palestinian terrorist group, Black September.
Israel, the chief, told me more times, even when I asked again, don't try, I'm a soldier. You offer us a window, and this window we have to use to show the situation of our people.
The non-state group executed the athletes and utilized the media attention from the act to catapult awareness of the crisis in Palestine to the public sphere. Despite their technological disadvantage, Black September used the media to influence the world in a way that otherwise would have been impossible. Hezbollah, 1980s. The non-state group Hezbollah was formed in Lebanon in the 1980s as a response to the Israeli occupation of their home, with the goal of harassing the enemy forces into expulsion. They were adamantly anti-colonialist and aimed to put an end to any colonialist entity on their land. In 1984, Hezbollah established a weekly publication, Al-Ad, and was also in control of a satellite television station called Al-Manar TV, which broadcasts from Beirut, Lebanon. Al-Manar is a key player in something Hezbollah calls its psychological warfare against the Zionist enemy. They have focused the majority of their overall strategy on the effect that their media presence has on the global community. They operated an internal media committee comprising of several media pros that, in the 1980s, held the ultimate decision-making power of all aspects of the group's military attacks. They believed that unless an attack can be mediatized by at least 2 camera angles, then the act needn't be executed. all violence they committed must be filmed and produced in a way to influence the global public. This approach to terrorist activities has proven to be extremely successful. Online publications like Inspire magazine often involve instructions for crafting homemade explosive devices and contain striking and horrific imagery, which can easily impact on the general public, embed itself in the minds of some people, and cause them to commit atrocities of their own. Media influenced by groups like Hezbollah and Al-Qaeda has evolved to such a degree that a simple video can plant the seed into the mind of an unsuspecting victim to grow into devastating action. These groups thrive off fear and have become extremely skilled at inducing fear into the minds of people around the globe. None other, though, than the penultimate non-state terrorist group, ISIS. ISIS emerged in 2014 and immediately recognized the importance of utilizing a media presence as a soft power weapon. Just like Hezbollah, ISIS took their media strategy to a professional level and employed many skilled individuals to assist in the production of their media projects. Instilled in their ethos is a strong belief that media warfare is equally important to their physical attacks and moves on the ground. ISIS operates a central media committee that is largely staffed by public relations and media professionals. The quality and scope of the media engagements undertaken by ISIS make them stand out from other non-state terrorist groups, as a large percentage of their budget is injected into their media activities. They have managed to find a balance between intimidating footage displaying their violence and ferocity, and their inspirational footage displaying them helping citizens and assisting in aid and relief. The thing about ISIS is that they are highly skilled in determining their audience and the approach they need to take in their media message to attain the desired effect and response.
Experts say no terror group has ever had a propaganda machine as sophisticated and dangerous as ISIS, showing brutal murders to shock the West, false promises of a moral society to destabilize the Mideast. ISIS uses women and children to cater its message to different groups, like those seeking a stable Islamic state.
They use the intimidating footage to strike fear into their enemies and warn the Western world of their power. Then they use inspirational footage to show the people in the places they conquered that they can be good rulers, and if the people just cooperate, then everything will be fine. However they are perceived by different people around the world, their actions are in clear violation of international human rights regulations. They conduct their business in a way that flies in the face of all human rights commissions and systematically disobey the laws that govern all humans. They frighten local forces and send shockwaves across the international community. Their vicious reputation often leads to the abandonment of their posts by most local forces before Islamic State forces even arrive. This allows the far inferior ISIS forces to take control of these regions with little to no resistance, despite a massive tactical advantage going to the local forces, who have the backing of American technology and equipment. ISIS's media strategy directly reflects their actions in real life, as they are not trying to conceal their atrocities. The importance of murdering someone on camera goes not towards the actual death of the person, but the impact that seeing this death has on anyone who witnesses it. ISIS has clearly adapted to the new age digital media and has utilized the speed and efficiency of new technologies to influence their audience worldwide. Media strategies from non-state terrorist groups have evolved tremendously over time, and at the moment is at a point of effectiveness never seen before. However, it may only be a stepping stone to further advances in terrorist media strategies. The future holds many possibilities, and if what we have seen so far is anything to go off, future terrorist groups will develop new and innovative ways to imprint their messages on the global community.